The moment a newborn baby enters the world, everything changes. For parents, love becomes real, responsibility becomes heavy, and every small decision suddenly feels important. Among all those decisions, one stands above the rest: nutrition. What a newborn consumes in the earliest days of life does more than provide energy. It builds organs, strengthens immunity, shapes digestion, programs metabolism, and lays the foundation for lifelong health. A newborn's body is not simply small, it is unfinished. The digestive system is immature, the immune system is learning, the brain is rapidly forming connections. At this stage, food is not just nourishment, it is biological instruction. Every drop a newborn consumes tells the body how to grow, how to defend itself, and how to function in the world outside the womb. For the first 6 months of life, nature has already designed the perfect food: breast milk. Breast milk is not just milk, it is a living substance that changes according to the baby's needs. It contains the exact balance of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, enzymes, hormones, and immune factors required for a newborn to grow safely and steadily. No laboratory, formula, or supplement can replicate this complexity. Breast milk does more than feed the baby. It protects the baby. It carries antibodies from the mother that guard the newborn against infections, respiratory illnesses, diarrhea, and allergies. These antibodies are especially critical because a newborn's immune system is still learning how to fight germs. Breast milk acts like a protective shield during this vulnerable period. One of the most misunderstood aspects of newborn nutrition is the idea of fast growth. Many parents worry if their baby is not gaining weight quickly, but healthy growth is not rapid growth. Healthy growth is steady, balanced development of the brain, organs, muscles, and bones. Overfeeding or introducing foods too early does not make a baby stronger, it places stress on immature systems. For the first 6 months, a newborn does not need water, honey, sugar, animal milk, juices, herbal drinks, or any solid food. The kidneys are not ready to process extra fluids. The gut lining is delicate and easily inflamed. Introducing anything other than breast milk or properly prepared infant formula can increase the risk of infections, digestive problems, and nutrient imbalance. In cases where breastfeeding is not possible, infant formula becomes a necessary alternative. Formula should always be prepared exactly according to instructions, using clean water and proper hygiene. Diluting formula to make it last longer or thickening it to keep the baby full can be dangerous and harmful to a newborn's health. One of the most important nutrients for newborn development is fat. Fat is not the enemy. In fact, fat is the primary fuel for brain growth during infancy. Breast milk is naturally high in healthy fats because the brain grows faster in the first year than at any other time in life. Babies deprived of proper fat intake may gain weight but lack optimal brain development. Another critical nutrient is iron. Newborns are born with iron stores from the mother that last approximately 6 months. After that, iron becomes essential to prevent anemia and support brain development. This is why complementary foods introduced after 6 months must be rich in iron, such as iron-fortified cereals, mashed lentils, and well-cooked vegetables. Vitamin D is another nutrient newborns often need support with. While breast milk is perfect in many ways, it may not provide enough vitamin D, especially if sunlight exposure is limited. Pediatricians often recommend vitamin D drops to support bone development and immune health. This is not a supplement for growth, it is a protective measure. As the baby reaches around 6 months, the body shows signs of readiness for solid foods. The baby can sit with support, shows interest in food, and has better head and neck control. At this stage, complementary feeding begins, not to replace milk, but to support growing nutritional needs. The first foods for a baby should be simple, soft, and natural. Mashed vegetables, pureed fruits, soft lentils, and iron-rich foods are ideal. There is no need for salt, sugar, spices, or processed baby foods. A baby's taste buds are sensitive and unspoiled. Introducing natural flavors early helps develop healthy eating habits later. One common mistake parents make is adding sugar or salt to make food tastier. This is unnecessary and harmful. Sugar trains the brain to crave sweetness. Salt stresses the kidneys. Babies do not need flavor enhancement, they need nourishment. Their bodies recognize nutrition, not seasoning. Texture progression is just as important as food choice. Starting with smooth purees and gradually moving to thicker textures helps develop chewing skills, jaw strength, and healthy digestion. Rushing textures or delaying them can lead to feeding difficulties later in childhood. Hydration during infancy comes primarily from milk. Once solids begin, small amounts of water can be introduced, but milk remains the main source of nutrition throughout the first year. Juices, even natural ones, are not recommended. They spike blood sugar, damage developing teeth, and replace more nutritious foods. A newborn's gut is sterile at birth and gradually develops healthy bacteria. This gut microbiome plays a major role in immunity, digestion, and even mood regulation later in life. Breast milk helps seed this microbiome naturally. Antibiotics, early processed foods, and unnecessary supplements can disrupt this delicate balance. Sleep, nutrition, and immunity are deeply connected. A well-nourished baby sleeps better. A baby who sleeps better grows better. Growth hormone is released during deep sleep, and proper nutrition ensures this process functions smoothly. Feeding patterns that overstimulate or overfeed can disrupt sleep cycles. Parents often worry about illness in newborns. While some infections are unavoidable, strong nutrition significantly reduces risk. Breastfed babies experience fewer ear infections, fewer GI issues, and lower risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Nutrition does not make babies invincible, it makes them resilient. Another important concept is feeding with calmness. Babies sense stress. Feeding should never be rushed, forced, or emotional. Calm feeding helps regulate the baby's nervous system and digestion. This emotional safety becomes part of the baby's long-term relationship with food. As the baby approaches 1 year, family foods can be gradually introduced in modified, safe forms. The goal is not variety for excitement, but consistency for security. A baby who learns to enjoy simple, natural foods early is less likely to develop picky eating habits later. The first year of life is a once-in-a-lifetime window. The body is most adaptable, the brain most plastic, and the immune system most teachable. Nutrition during this time programs health outcomes for years to come, including obesity risk, metabolic health, and even cognitive ability. Parents do not need expensive products, imported formulas, or fancy baby foods to raise a healthy newborn. They need awareness, patience, cleanliness, and trust in natural processes. Growth does not come from excess, it comes from balance. When parents nourish a newborn correctly, they are not just feeding a baby, they are building organs that will last decades. They are teaching the immune system how to defend. They are shaping a brain that will think, learn, and feel for a lifetime. Healthy babies are not created by shortcuts. They are created by consistency, simplicity, and respect for the body's natural design. The earliest days may seem small, but their impact is enormous. Because in the end, newborn nutrition is not about feeding fast, it is about building life, slowly, safely, and wisely.